mics.
There we go. Hey! There we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Apex Overwatch Challenger Promotion Tournament. I'm Achilleos. With me is Wolf, and we're getting ready to go into our second match of the day, a best-of-5 between Mighty AOD, or Angels of Death, against MVP Infinity. So we just saw MVP Space lose to a Freak of Freaks Red. That puts them into the losers match. If they lose their next best-of-5, they will be knocked out of Apex League. MVP Infinity, however, maybe the better of the two sister teams, going to be looking for their chance to make it into Apex as well.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it. Space definitely looking very weak, and you have to wonder if these two teams, if they're sister teams, is the skill gap going to be there? Because they're training oftentimes almost exclusively with each other. That's why we have sister teams, so that you have this team that you can practice with at all times, and both teams are guaranteed to have practice partners and scrims at any given moment in time. In Heroes of the Storm, MVP Black was formed, and another team, sister team at the time, was formed called MVP Sky, and the gap between those teams was immense, so much so that Sky was disbanded, and about a year later they made their second sister team, Miracle, which ended up being the about third best team in the world. So there is the possibility that there's a massive gap, and that Infinity is way better than Space. Even though they train together, they just have this better core. They maybe have better hero pools. Maybe there's better in general mechanically. There's the possibility that they are a much better team. But I think this series should be closer, absolutely either way, as Mighty AOD is not a very well-known team or a very strong team, I'd say. You know, they don't stand out like the Afrika Red does, or LW, or even Runaway.
Yeah, one question that I have to ask MVP Infinity is, one fact, or if I win, they're DPS players, can you play Tracer? Is that something that is possible? And don't pick Torbjorn. Like, just those are the two things that I need to know. Like, are you going to pick Torbjorn? Please don't. And then can you play Tracer? Because if they can do that, then I think that Infinity might be able to do a little bit better than Space. You mentioned, like, is there going to be a gap? I certainly hope so for their hopes to get into Apex. Because if there's not much of a gap between those two teams as far as skill is concerned, I don't think they're going to be able to make it in. But Mighty AOD, as much as I'm kind of ragging on MVP Space right now, we don't know a whole lot about this squad. They just kind of popped up. They're a very recent one. But just we'll take a updated look at the bracket. So MVP Space, after that loss to a Freak of Freaks Red, fall into the losers match where they will have to play against LW Red in 2 days on the 22nd of December. The Freak of Freaks Red, however, they're going to be playing their winners match against Runaway tomorrow. And if they can win that set, they make it into Apex.
So do tell your friends about tomorrow's match, because that is going to be the match that decides the very first team to go into Apex Season 2 in this Challenger promotion. So should be a really high-level match as well, probably the closest we've seen in this promotions tournament. So that's the one that you definitely want to watch tomorrow. Absolutely going to be a great one.
Yeah, and I mean, we have a Toon who just really showed off his skill on multiple heroes. The Tracer, as I was saying, a very big one for him. But we get to see him going up against Haksal, which is going to be a really fun matchup, because we've seen Afrika not so much go for that dive composition with the Genji. They have it in their back pocket. It's something that they can play, but they like operating around a Toon on this Tracer. So seeing him go up against Haksal, who's going to be bringing out that Genji, it's going to be a lot of dashing, a lot of deflecting, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll be a really high-skill matchup between those two DPS players. But bringing us to our current match, Mighty AOD versus MVP Infinity. The winner of this will go on to play against the Meta in 2 days, who had a very strong showing yesterday. And then the loser has to play against Rhinos Gaming Titan. And again, the loser of that will be knocked out of contention for Apex.
Yep. This is going to be a pretty important match here. Decide which one goes against the Meta. The Meta definitely being the weaker of the three teams, I'd say, going into winners matches. And honestly, Group B in general, to be perfectly honest, seems to be the weaker group of the two. But we'll see if AOD or Infinity can prove us wrong here. I just feel like this match is going to be close, because neither team really is flashy and standouty. And there's not that much information, as you mentioned, on AOD especially. And that's because they're not that known. You know, this is the team that doesn't have as many fans as some of the other Challenger teams, because in those Challenger matches, when you look at how well these teams played, they've already got fangirls, they've got people coming to cheer them on in the studio. For these two, definitely significantly less fans, and they're really looking to prove themselves. They're trying to put their mark on the map and get into that Premier League.
Yeah, so I think that this is going to be a particularly interesting matchup, because actually both of these teams just played against each other 13 days ago. So it was actually AOD winning in a 2-1. It was just a best of 3, so not that indicative. We don't know how close those games were, but the last time that these guys did clash, Mighty was able to come out with a victory. So that's got to be kind of seared into the back of the minds of the players of MVP Infinity. So they have to try to conquer the beast that is AOD. So we'll see if they're able to do that. But again, we really don't know a whole lot about either of these squads. Infinity has been very consistent in Challenger, 4th place in both seasons 1 and 2. So they've been pretty stagnant, whereas Afrika Red has moved around quite a bit. So theoretically, MVP Infinity could be a stronger team than Afrika.
Infinity with no changes to their roster either, but here's Mighty AOD. Only swap they made is bringing in Trinity as the secondary support here. We'll see Thorncut coming out as tank along with Arachna. And Karyev and Arister. Will we see that Tracer Genji? What sort of DPS are we looking for here? Only time will tell as we get into this series, but that's kind of been dominant in today's matches as Tracer's kind of been the hero. And it's really kind of been the story of solo DPS Tracer, or is it Soldier? And sometimes the Genji, there are some exceptions, even the Widowmaker can sometimes be the solo DPS.
Yeah. We've seen a big contrast compared to yesterday. You mentioned the Soldier. That was a really big pick for Munchkin, for Seiya, but not so much here. We saw Climax consistently trying to just run the Soldier, and if that wasn't working out, he was swapping to the McCree, but we weren't seeing any versatility beyond that. No Reaper coming out, no Tracer really from him, or at least not one that was very noticeable. Whereas Attune brought out that Widowmaker. We saw an exhibition of Widowmaker yesterday as well. So I'm excited to see what the DPS on both teams is going to be bringing to the plate, because that's the fun about Challenger. You watch a tournament like MLG Vegas, you know exactly what these guys are going to do. Every now and then you'll get a surprise pick, a Widowmaker coming out, a Symmetra perhaps, but you're not going to get those fun moments where a Torbjorn gets locked in. Granted, is it good? Absolutely not. Is it fun to watch? Hell yeah, it is.
Well, this is a really interesting team with the heroes they're liking to play. Both One Fact and Why Not really like to play Zarya, so there's a lot of flexibility with swapping there. Flash is the Lucio player and actually calls himself Flash because he has the same Korean name as the StarCraft legend Flash, so that's where his ID comes from. And Win, excuse me, I should say, likes to play a lot of Reaper. One Fact is still playing McCree. We saw earlier Attune playing McCree on the King of the Hill maps, and we'll see if we actually see that again from One Fact, as it seems to be a little bit more popular. Fell out of the meta for a while. We see it specifically on those control point maps, and Nepal, we saw it earlier consistently from Attune. So some things to look out for in this team as we go into especially our first King of the Hill map.
Yeah, we'll see what these guys are going to land on. We saw Nepal earlier today, Lijiang yesterday. Still have not seen Ilios, and I'm sure there's a couple people out there that'd be pretty satisfied with that result, but very well may see it right here, right now, as we get ready to go ahead and take a look at our map list to see where we will be headed for this first game in this best of 5.
And we will. Just looking at the stats again for Infinity, Lara's almost exclusively Ana, so it's going to be Flash and Lucio, Laras on Ana almost all the time. Not a whole lot of Zenyatta coming out of this guy, so I think we're going to be seeing that traditional 2 support, Lucio, Ana, almost completely every single time, unless he wants to break out from what we've seen from him so far already. As we take a look at our maps here, for our King of the Hill, it's going to be Lijiang Tower, Nepal, or Ilios in today's map pool in the OGN format. It will be Ilios. A crowd cheer comes out as that one is selected. Here we go. Not a map most people like to play on, but we're going to see it today as our first map in our second set.
I think Ilios is good in small doses, but when you have it sort of shoved down your throat multiple times, then maybe you're sick and tired of seeing that map. But first time that we'll be seeing it so far in the promotion tournament, so I'm excited to go ahead and dive into this one. Or maybe it's the second. I forget exactly how many, if we have had Ilios.
We did have Ilios once yesterday.
Okay.
I can't remember which match it was, but I know we did it once. I made the same mistake of remembering the Hollywood game that we did have, in fact, yesterday. But Ilios, one of my favorite maps, actually. I do like it a lot. But here we go. Let's go into it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and see which map we're going to end up on. Whether it's going to be the Lighthouse or maybe Well or Ruins. Let's go ahead, dive straight into map 1. It's Ilios.
get it.
All right, welcome to Ilios. We have gotten it yet again. Not really sure what's going on with that logo of Mighty AOD, Angels of Death. I didn't know that they used like a Mjolnir-looking hammer with lightning bolts.
In Heroes of the Storm, they had just the team name Mighty. And in fact, one of their star players, Kong, who's a really good Sylvanas player, actually ends up being the coach now for their Overwatch squad as well. So he's moved completely away from being a Heroes of the Storm player, is now just the coach of this Overwatch squad. And perhaps they had multiple squads, and this is the one that ended up being the most successful. So hence the AOD, but Mighty has always had the logo of that hammer. And we'll see in this game already the Genji Tracer for AOD coming out with the Winston. So very similar to what we saw earlier on today, especially on Hollywood from the Freaka Freaks Red. They are bringing a Diva with it though, so a little bit different. Not actually running Reinhardt at all on this first push.
Yeah, we're not seeing that Zenyatta coming out as well. It will be the Lucio and the Ana. On the King of the Hill map, it's going to be a little less consequential for them, but that's going to be 3 kills very swiftly picked up by Infinity as they will get this first cap on well.
And this is so bad for AOD because Mighty now has to go through this choke point against Orion without their own, and unless they switch, they're simply not going to have one. So getting through this is going to be such a challenge. It's really on these DPS players, Airster and Kareev, to actually get around and get picks. That was a success when we saw A2 do this earlier. If they can't do the same, this composition just simply will not work, and it's very difficult to make this happen when you have that choke point you have to funnel through. Thorngun gets a kill here on Why Not. Kareev's starting to get to the backline, Smiley. Can he get a pick?
Gonna get a hell of a lot of damage in onto Wreck. Actually helps take him out with Arachne. They will find that kill, and it looks like MVP Infinity. They'll go ahead, get the retake, just 32% on the clock for Mighty. So decent retake from them. Have that ultimate available from Erster. Kareev almost has the pulse bomb. And it looks like they might be in a decent spot. Infinity gonna have to catch up.
There's the pulse bomb charge, you guys heard it. Recognize that sound right there. Okay, Thorncut also has self-destruct. Can he put the pulse bomb right in the middle here? No damage there. The sound barrier actually kind of counteracting everything here, but they do get the pick onto one fact, and here comes that Dragon Blade. Airster running in, gets the kill on Flash. Was up onto the high ground here looking for another charge. That's going to run out there, but a big win overall here, I would say. Lara's going to get picked off as well. And Mighty AOD continues to hold this point, but 3 ults available for Infinity for the next push.
Yeah, it was a really good hold by them. Thorncut still has his self-destruct. Trinity has a nano boost as well. But as you said, 3 ultimates are here for Infinity, and you could always lock up with that Graviton Surge, throw out the self-destruct of Fywin. Thorncut's going to toss his in behind, won't find anything. You see the Graviton Surge coming through, will be followed up on. Fywin not throwing his ultimate yet, so not looking for that Wombo combo that we saw Freaka Red pull off in the last match.
It looks like the ult there from Thorncut didn't get any kills, but definitely gave them the ability to zone here. He's going to grab a kill onto Zarya nearly, that is to say, okay, we'll get it here eventually onto Why Not, trying to knock Reinhardt into the well there, unsuccessful. Fywin gets caught, he'll be picked off as well, and Mighty AOD really holding this point hard. Yeah, and MVP Infinity used a lot of their ults. They're still unsuccessful, so the next push is going to be really hard. It's going to be mostly ultless. Fywin does have another self-destruct. They do have that Earth Shatter. See if Brett can hit it. He does get just one. We'll take out Kareev, but is that enough?
I just don't think that it's worth it going just for the Tracer to lock him down.
Well, they're going to, just concede the point, give it to Infinity here. But unfortunately, that was an ult wasted there, you could argue. And it's the beginning of something here. They definitely don't lose this first round as a result.
I mean, you can come up with such a larger combo by holding onto the Earth Shatter, however, because there is no enemy Reinhardt to stop and block that Earth Shatter from coming out. Thorncut, though, he does throw his self-destruct, is able to find Flash. It's going to be a solid kill. Erster has to jump up in the air, trying to get as many heals as possible. Has a Dragon Blade, but doesn't want to go in yet. While that nano boost is still up onto Breck. Now that it's fallen off, he's going to pop it, but has to dash away. The self-destruct comes through, and it will pick off Pika. So Fywin finding a kill onto the healer from Mighty AOD.
If Airster can rebuild his Dragon Blade here, I feel like this will be worth it that he used it there, but if he can't, he just didn't have the pairing to get the value he wanted because Pika didn't have Sound Barrier to use it with him, and with this composition that doesn't run Zarya, it's really hard. Brogdon is going to drop himself down there. Infinity holds a point. there's just not enough time for him to actually get another Dragon Blade here. 90%. And Mighty with no ults. I don't think they're going to be able to take this one. They get him at one more shot.
It's going to be really rough. The Earth Shatter is back up from Breck. If you can find them on the entry, you can just knock everybody down. He's going to throw it out. We'll find Arachne as he's nano boosted, charging through. Going to get a bit of damage in, but he's getting his heals denied out. Will he be able to survive in time? Biotic Grenade's not there, and he's going to fall. Pika finishing him off so far. A 1-for-1, make that a 4-for-1 as Mighty AOD just get melted out by the members of MVP Infinity. Jumping into the well is Pika. He's just going to go ahead and surrender this first round. MVP going to go up 1-0.
Very, successful.
See, Flash is happy.
Flash is happy, and we're seeing a lot of flashiness, in fact, from Infinity. We saw several emotes actually used there, especially on the Diva. Hiya! Seeing a little bit of that going on. And I feel like Mighty had the right idea, and this is a composition that is very hit or miss. You know, if you can get the picks with Tracer, with Genji, then you win the point, and then if you disrupt their respawn timers, you catch reinforcements coming back to the next point. They were successful at first, and they weren't able to follow it up. When Carve was picked, they lost a lot of momentum there. And you know, the question of was Breck's Earthshatter worth it there? I think at the end of the day, it absolutely was. It wasn't efficient, but I think it definitely getting that pick and securing that point really gave them the momentum to end the game. And then we saw that wasted Dragon Blade from Arister later on as well.
Yeah. Rough stuff from AOD. Arachne already going to fall. The first one to get taken out as One Fact just shoots him in the face a couple times on that Soldier 76. And I got to say, this Winston so far not been working out. So there we go. Arachne finally swapping over to the Reinhardt, something I would have liked to have seen from him that entire first point on well.
Definitely going to make it a lot harder to find value out of the double dive here with Genji and Tracer. See if they can make it work regardless here. MVP Infinity does hold this first point. One Fact looking for the kill here on Tracer, not going to get it.
He's going to get taken out. Thorncut pushing in. Infinity still holding for now. Urster trying to get some work done. Is able to dash back through to stay on the platform, but gets melted by that beam coming out from Why Not. Infinity, they're going to be holding quite well so far. Breck does go down. And you can see Karif just trying to do the best that he possibly can. Does have that pulse bomb available, but he gets taken out. Flash actually coming up with a double kill. Might have had a boom off. Didn't quite get to see that. Arachne goes in with a charge, does catch the Lucio, but he pays for it with his own life.
I really feel like Erster should switch off of this Genji after this first
I think he
Dragon
agrees
Blade.
with you.
Yeah, he's headed back to maybe switch even right now. There's no Zarya to protect him. There's no sound barrier yet. He's going to go ahead and switch to the Roadhog, but he wasn't finding anything. Without the Winston, if you run in solo as a Genji versus 5 or 6 with no disruption in that tiny little room, you're going to find he just gets knocked off the side, has a dash back, and he dies. A pretty worthless hero in this composition right now, and I like the choice to switch to the Roadhog as a result, but they've already lost so much time here.
A 99% ulti-charge swap, though, never feels good. And now you can see with that tack visor coming in with a nano boost. One Fact doing some work, picks off Kariv and Pika. And Mighty AOD, they get stopped yet again. They do have the ultimate advantage at the moment. Have that Earth Shatter with the self-destruct and the nano boost. They might be able to get a retake, but they're going to have to act on this pretty quickly because it's just been racking up the percentage here for MVP.
Up to 90 now, and Kariv is going to try to get around here. Everyone's got eyes on him. He gets in the back line. No pick. It looks like it might be a trade on Reinhardt with a charge there. It's not going to be a kill either way. Whiteout gets hooked here. Immediately, the Earth Shatter goes down. He gets his ground on search right in time here. It's a big one. Will he be able to get kills? It looks like they will. 3 kills for MVP Infinity. Overtime is up now, but with only a few members left of AOD, doesn't look like they're going to be able to capture this first point.
Yeah, beautiful combo coming out there, straight into the self-destruct. That's one of the things that the Reinhardt has to be there for, but it just wasn't enough. As he gets taken down, they're able to just sweep right through an MVP Infinity. Take map 1, Ilios going over to them with relative ease. AOD looking really lost in that first map.
Yeah, Infinity looked really strong, much better than Space, in fact. I think that, Mighty is is not at the same level of team as a Freak of Freaks Red right now, but the coordination we saw there was really good. And for Why Not to know exactly when he was about to have his Graviton Sword, he was at like 95%. The team commits, he said, I don't have it. If you press tab, you can't see it, but I am going to have it, so go in now. Having that coordination to make that combo happen there to secure the win, very impressive. It seems like Flash is the shot caller here. He's not actually up there where one fact is where normally the shot caller is, but just based on the camera shots we're seeing here, he seems to be, at least if he's not shot calling, he's very talkative, Achilles.
Yes, he is, but a really strong start here for MVP Infinity. AOD gonna have to try to bounce back as we get ready to move into our hybrid maps. We'll take a look. We actually have a play of the game. This is the boop, I believe, that we didn't get to see from Flash, coming up with a double kill.
Now here we go, let's take it out. All right, goes over here towards the Ana. Oh, the double on the Ana and the Tracer. And he's healing up the whole time. He's got sound barrier.
And then he dies, but we won't show that one. Let's focus on the good stuff. But just good paying attention there from Flash. A hectic team fight like that, he still is able to identify and line up that boop to get a double kill on a Lucio. That's somebody that has a really good mind when they go into a team fight like that.
I really like to see his energy as well. I mean, talk about Korean esports. I mean, there's a few idols that come to mind. Flash is one of them. He has been born and given the same name as one of his idols. He walks into this first televised match. He gets play of the game on Ilios, gets that double kill, and you can feel that energy. And it's exciting to see this new pro gamer to finally be on stage like one of his idols. Hollywood will be our second map here for the hybrid.
Yeah, not seeing Numbani yet through this tournament. Could come up later if we are taken to a full 5 set of games, but we will be going back to Hollywood for the second time today. We saw Afrika Red completely destroy MVP space on this map, so we'll see if MVP Infinity can do just the opposite to their opponents.
I imagine Mighty will be running that same Genji Tracer composition with Winston as we saw earlier from Afrika Freaks Red, since they were already running it on Ilios, so we'll see them do it again here very likely.
Yeah, we will. All right, let's go ahead. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into Hollywood. Map 2 in this best of 5. Mighty AOD down 1 game under MVP Infinity.
I get it.
All right, welcome back to Hollywood for the second time today. You can hear some cheers there for MVP.
Yeah, big cheers, in fact.
Actually, it might have been for Mighty. I couldn't really tell, but I'm assuming.
I think it was MVP, but we'll never know for sure. We got our soundproof headsets on. We just hear the roar of the crowd. Now, MVP will be on the attack first. And they're actually showing Laris on Mercy. Remember, he was almost complete Ana-main. So those fans were talking about. He's, you know, in all of his matches, he's shown nothing but Ana so far. Get off the phone. I know we're in the game hasn't started yet, but you got to get off the phone.
She's got to be in Twitch chat, man. She wants to see those dank memes as we go through this game.
Sure. But Laris actually switches to Symmetra.
She had to go post that she got it.
She got it.
That's what she had to do.
So it is going to be Laris on Ana now. He switches one more time. Of course, this is the attack way of things. As a pretty normal composition on the side of AOD, they're going to have the Airster, Roadhog, and Karib switching off Tracer on the defense, going to be playing the Soldier. And Infinity actually going to run the identical composition. They're not actually going to try that double dive comp on Hollywood, at least not for this initial point, the hybrid capture point. Spywin coming to look for that range damage. Reinhardt leading the charge up here through that choke point. There's a hook already here.
Really big hook, and that's going to be a very crucial kill. Nicely done by Mighty Erster. Just ripping him out, and with the help of Karib, they take away the enemy Roadhog. So good entry. That's going to stop the push coming through from MVP. And Mighty, they'll be safe to just keep holding right back at the limo.
Just kind of holding back right now. MVP looking for that second push in here. Actually commit to it pretty heavily this time. Reinhardt loses his shield, just going to drop out the Flame Strike. Yeah, they're pushing all the way. Why not up onto the point now? Arachna does go down, so this push a lot more successful already. And Bywin now free to do free damage from behind. will need to heal himself up, though. He's caught, but does get the pick there onto Arister.
Oh, he sees Sareev unconscious on the floor. Gonna try to take him out, but he's sprinting through into security. Gets the heal down. Bywin not coming up with it. Almost goes down. The Rockets just not enough from Kareem to win the Soldier Mirror matchup, and he does fall.
And with some critical picks early on and Bywin left to his devices, they get a very quick capture here on that first point. We'll look for that follow-up push.
Yeah, having 5 minutes now on the shelf. This is looking pretty similar to Africa Red's performance on this map earlier today. So MVP, we'll see if they can keep the ball rolling and get towards that second point in the next 2 minutes or so.
Now, if you look at that archway right there at the back of the fight, that's really going to be the tough point to get through. One fact is actually going to commit to whole hog here, as I described this, and this is going to be a pretty big wipe. This means it will likely get through that archway without any trouble, and getting through that really is the first strong point. Once you get that gate up, once you get through there, it's much more difficult to defend. That's your first roadblock on attack here. And they're pushing most of the way there already.
Right up towards the saloon, so they're going to be in a good spot, and they have 2 ultimates still available, the Earth Shatter and that Self-Destruct from Breck and Why Not. See, when they want to throw it out, have to be pretty selective over this one. Don't want to get that block coming through.
Okay, there's a huge Earth Shatter going down. No parrying, though, with the Diva ult. And look at that right over the shield here, Kareev. That pops the attack visor, gets the kill. There's a nice violent grenade. He might get more than that. Looking for the kill on Reinhardt.
Taking out Flash, going to be very crucial for him. Goes on the heal to keep himself up. Going to be looking for the mech suit from Why Not. Almost takes it out. Getting a couple heals coming through. They're actually going to be able to pop it in the end. That's going to be Nano Boost going over onto Breck. We see Kareev is able to find a kill, taking out that Vanilla Diva, but a big hook around the corner coming through from One Fact. Takes out the Soldier, stopping the DPS in its tracks. Whole Hog coming through. Just going to push Zarya right up on top of the saloon. Keep her away from that payload, but she's going to drop in from behind. Throws down the Graviton Surge, but won't find anything for it. Gets cut down.
You know,
another hook, and that is likely going to be the second point here. Kareev going to do what he can to stop it, but it's not going to be a whole lot.
Knocking Zarya up onto the top there gives her a great position to drop the Graviton Surge, but it won't simply matter at all if everyone's already dead before she puts it. So Thorncut with a huge mistake there to waste that, as we see Bywin dropping down more emotes here. He's got his tack visor, and this looks to be a pretty nice spot right now for MVP Infinity. Pushing this really hard, and Mighty AOD having a lot of trouble. They don't really have any ults now to contest this. Kareev and Trinity very close to getting that tack visor nano boost combo here, but the momentum is so far against them right now. This is the easiest part here until you get to the outside to really push this point. There's so much space to work with as a, attack visor soldier. Bywin's going to use it. Why not gets 3 as well? This is going to be, it's going to be a full wipe.
Oh, Mickey, is that you? That was a beautiful self-destruct coming in for Why Not. The team kill coming through from MVP Infinity. They're going to get a lot of distance in onto this push. Just a couple meters away.
And Diva doesn't even go towards the contest. This might actually just be it. Diva's going to come from behind here, so will Why Not. Bywin just sitting here putting out free damage. It's going to be an easy cap, it looks like. There's the kill onto Thorncut. And Arister's pushed away. There's the cap. 3 minutes and 17 seconds here in round 1 on the attack for Infinity. A dominant performance.
That was even faster than the push we saw from Africa Red. I think they had about 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, 2:08. I wrote it down, actually.
Okay, 2:08. Yeah, 3 minutes for MVP Infinity. Wow, what a push. Mighty AOD yet again looking lost in this matchup. Just can't contest. And this has been such a great performance from this squad overall, but Breck consistently landing these massive Earth Shatters.
Yeah, and I do want to give big credit to One Fact as well, just kind of always getting consistent damage. And when you see these amazing hooks, when he gets these big picks, it allows things like a big self-destruct to get thrown over the back. Very difficult to dodge, so a nice shot there by Why Not. It feels like this is one of the first teams we've seen in promotions where I feel like the synergy is insanely on point. Everyone's sticking with the heroes they know, they're getting value from them, and it feels like everyone's very much so on the same page. Going back to, the Why Not Graviton Surge we even saw earlier where he didn't even have it enough, but everyone comboed together to set that up. as he called it out. So good communication, no doubt, for Infinity here.
Yeah, and this is something that we expected from the meta, which was, our #1 team coming into Season 2 of Challengers as we moved into the promotion tournament. But MVP Infinity at 4th place looked like the most cohesive team that we've seen so far.
Would have to agree with that. More cohesive than Luxury Watch Red as well.
That man right there on your screen, Breck, has been playing one hell of a Reinhardt, and it just seems like his counterpart, Arachne, can't keep up.
Yeah, the thing about Arachne, too, is you've seen he's been forced to play a lot of different heroes. So he's got this large hero pool, but it doesn't seem like he's very strong at any one specific one of them. He's played D.Va, I think he's played Zarya even a little bit. He definitely played Winston and the Reinhardt, so he's split kind of into a lot of different pieces here. And it's tough to be good at all these heroes. Reeva's going to commit to the Widowmaker here to try to push down this shield.
Already a hook in onto Arachne. He's going to go ahead and lose his suit. Reeve looking for the angle, going to be sniping from security room. Reinhardt shield will be going down, but still can't get a shot onto Laris.
Let's get
it's
one
going to be
back,
a big
though.
target. Oh
There's
my
Flash.
god, actually, yeah, popping off all of a sudden. Finds one back into Flash. Urster's able to take out Laris. That's both the healers gone. And mighty AOD, they just stomp out MVP Infinity. And they're going to be able to take this on the first push.
Trying to punish anyone who decides to contest this. He's looking for a pick. Not going to happen. And I think that Mighty will cap this first point, as MVP Infinity not going to even set up to defend it. They're just going to let it go. That was a much faster cap, about 30 seconds better, in fact, than what we saw from Infinity. When Kree finally gets taken out, it will probably switch now, but he was actually the sole reason why they got that. The team gave him the peel and the weakening power for him to get all those finish-off kills there. That was all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good performance. Now he just has to match that with his soldier play. Thorn cut over on to this Tracer. Going to be looking for that double DPS. This is a bit of a hybrid on that dive comp. Has the Genji, has the Tracer with that Zenyatta, but lacking the Winston from Arachne so far.
Arachne's going to be playing that Ryan this time. Aristar going to commit to the Dragon Blade to see what he can find. Gets whacked there by Ryan. Still finds 2 kills, though, with Thorn Cut helping him out. Is going to find and get the kill on Fywin. It's exactly what this comp needs to, this is exactly what this comp wants to have. And he was given the space to do it there with the Dragon Blade.
Wow.
Comboed without even a sound barrier. Just
Granted,
the Transcendence.
I mean, granted, like, they had to blow the ultimates there to get the push, but I mean, mighty AOD, they just team killed MVP Infinity with a solo tank composition. That's really impressive. Triple DPS, 2 healers, solo tank. This is not usually what we see. Usually, it's if you're gonna go with the triple DPS, it's 1 healer. That's not the case here. Thorncut goes in, gets the pulse bomb to stick, but the biotic grenade comes through nicely. Coming out from Laris, he can completely 150 to 0 Thorncut with the help of Flash. They will do just that, but the limo, it's been pushed up pretty far. 4 minutes still on the clock here for mighty AOD. They're still in a very strong position despite losing a couple members in this fight.
Breck does finally have an Earth Shatter, and that's going to be something he's looking to use here to pair potentially with Flywind's Tech Visor. They are lacking the Zarya here, so they don't have that big Graviton Surge they can use at that first Archway, and of course with the first wipe, that was going to matter anyways. They got to the Archway so quickly. Now approaching the gate at that very first checkpoint here. Kareem has a Tech Visor of his own. One fact, not able to find the picks this time with the Roadhog, so we'll see if he continues to use that here, because he hasn't really been able to get much done so far. Okay, Kareem trying to do a high ground attack visor. There's no protection here. Gets the solo kill on Flywood with the Helix Rocket. Might get Flash as well. Doesn't even need to use his tac visor.
Yeah, Flash trying to run around, has that D.Va right in front of his face as well. Not even paying attention really to the soldier on top of the saloon, and Kareem will be able to find him. The tac visor available, didn't need to use it. And this is going to be a really good spot for mighty AOD. Have several ultimates available. A couple more on their ways. The Transcendence is almost finished here for Trinity.
2 back-to-back insanely one-sided attack rounds here. Kind of strange to see this kind of line up this way. Kareem still has his tac visor.
This is where it gets really difficult. Kareem won't have that good of an angle with the attack visor from this side of the fight. Has to get through that Reinhardt shield. If they can break that from Breck, then he might be able to do some work. Looks like this is going to be MVP pushing up. They want to play up toward the limo, not even let it get around the corner. In fact, not going to hit that hook. And with that, no pick potential, they're going to go ahead and peel back.
All right, they're getting around this corner. Self-destruct used here to try to get some picks. He doesn't get any, but does zone everybody out. Will we see a big play here from Mighty to try to use that?
Flash is gone. It's going to be 2 kills picked up for Kareev. Erster finding another one as he hooks in a double as Breck goes down. They might be able to just full push this straight up the lane. The respawns will be coming in, but MVP, their hopes of defending this are looking very slim. They still have 4 ultimates, 5 as Laris finishes his. They're going to have to commit everything to defending this payload.
There they will. Transcendence gets popped here, though, to try to defend this Flywin. Attack visor used here, but immediately a Diva gets on top of Thorncut, kind of nullifying this. He doesn't die either. Zenyatta immediately hitting him back up. He keeps the mech for so long. And this helps them push it so much closer, but unfortunately not able to push it all the way out of the point as Flywin does survive and get that kill on the Thorncut. We do see the Earth Shatter come in here. MVP gonna push this back for the time being.
Oh, that's a big hook. Flywin's gonna go down. Breck has to get back here. Has the Earth Shatter still available for himself. Kareev with that tech visor just ripping through the remaining members. He will get knocked down, and now it's all on Breck and Laris, who is swapped over to the Tracer off of the Ana. They have to stay on top of the payload. Now it's just Laris. Can he buy the time? It's not gonna happen. They'll full push it. By the look of things, there it is. The main not arriving in time. They do it. It's a little bit of less time than MVP has banked, but still a couple minutes on the clock. This could go either way.
MVP with some really good stall tactics there. Really like the self-destruct we saw come out from Why Not, which really helped them slow down that initial push where they had a lot of momentum, broke their formation, and that meant that Mighty had to reform, and that's really about a minute of time that was lost there. 2 insanely strong pushes, and with such large time banks for both teams, it feels like we're just starting this map over again.
I mean, we essentially are. It's going to have to come down to that first point defense. It's been so weak from both sides, both really surrendering the limousine very quickly into the map. You can see Mighty are going to be attacking first. If MVP could hold, then they have a shot at taking this on their attack, but the way that things have been going, I'm not sure who's really has the upper hand at this point.
Looks like they want to use this dive comp again, Mighty AOD, this time with the Zenyatta first. See if Kareev actually keeps that Pharah, because there's just not a lot of tanking with this comp. It's very squishy and very kind of all in, if you will, if they don't decide to swap that. It doesn't look like they're going to. Am I wrong?
He's hovering around.
Doesn't look like he's going to switch it. He's going to keep it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
This is a crazy composition.
He's going to be committing to this.
1 tank, and here we go. Double heals.
There's no long range engage really from Mighty, at least nothing reliable like a soldier. You're just going to be have to hope that Kareev is extremely accurate with these rockets.
Trying to knock some targets down off of the high ground, unsuccessful. Arachne comes in, he's the only tank here. And Kareev is trying to find the damage to weaken everybody off so those aggressive Tracer and Genji picks can happen. Almost kills himself there, down very low, no healer nearby.
Yeah, is able to make it over the wall. 25 HP, but Why Not? Hot on the chase does take him out. 3 kills picked up, 4 on the back end. And Mighty AOD, they might have to start rethinking this comp, and they are. They say, okay, you know what? We need tanks. That's exactly what we need. We're going to go back. We're going to pick up nothing but tanks. So they're going to be coming back in with Roadhog and Thorncut swapping over to that Diva.
This seems like a really risky choice, If they win this, if it works out, they get this point so quickly with a big, massive wipe. But since it didn't, they wasted half their time. 1 minute and 30 left here. Eris are going to try to look for that pick onto Flash. Gets blocked, gets the Reinhardt instead. Not going to be able to get that kill. Kareev actually switches to Reaper. He's trying to go to the back and get this pick onto Ryan. And he will get it. It's a start.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge opener. Now if he can just get on top of Flash, take him out on that Lucio, it'd be a really crucial pickup for him. See one back going low, but still going to be alive for the time being. Erster getting knocked down, and this attack visor from Flywin finding a triple kill. Can he add more to it? He's looking for the quadra, gets it, almost has the penta. Laris comes up with a kill onto Pika, and that might just be it. Stops him square in their tracks. Yeah. So Mighty AOD almost having 2 ultimates, both from the healers.
Yeah,
but they have to plow into 3 ultimates from MVP.
Because they switched so many heroes, that's why they don't have these ultimates. With the self-destruct alone, this might just be a hold. One fact can also push everyone off with that whole hog. They're going to hold this high ground. Breck with the shield up. Kareev doesn't have Death's Blossom yet. He's trying to build it up here. He's got 27 seconds to do so. The sound barrier goes off, but there's nothing to pair with it.
So there's Shatter coming through from Breck, gonna try to lock them down, and it's working wonders for MVP. 4 kills coming through, and a beautiful hook onto Kareem from One Fact. Takes out that Reaper, denying the Death Blossom from coming through, and potentially taking the point.
There's nothing that Thorncut can even do with this self-destruct. He slept before he can even cast it. He's denied entry to that point, and that will be a hold.
He was able to pick up 2. One Fact and Flash actually go down. They'll throw their own self-destruct, but Arachne with that nano boost, he finds Breck. This actually might be an opening for Mighty AOD.
Incredibly, he actually finds those 2 picks. He gets the cast off there right as he's dying.
Oh no! Nano boosting the mech right as it goes down. That is such a crucial mistake. Arachne sniping out Why Not with that Flame Strike. Almost to that second checkpoint, almost halfway capped now is the point. It's just Thorncut at the moment.
Pika and Arister going to come back in here. Biowin trying to get some damage done to break this down. Thorncut does get the kill first, but it won't matter. It is going to be, the round 3 is over. And that was it was a lot of time spent there from Mighty AOD with that composition.
That was terrifying at the end for MVP Infinity. Almost losing it, getting that double kill from Thorncut with the D.Va. Not sure how that even happened.
Yeah,
he dropped it inside of security just about.
I think he dropped it as his mech was dying, so you can't cast in the death animation of the mech. And then somehow the Reinhardt shield just did not block it. It was right up in everybody's faces when he used it. And yeah, as you said, a scary moment there at the end, but it is a hold. And Mighty AOD just went so greedy with their first composition, and now their opponents, who already started with about a minute extra, Infinity, going to run a more standard comp from the looks of things. They did use the Widowmaker really well, last time. Or it was AOD that used the Widowmaker. We'll see if Infinity can use it the same way. They might just be giving some fan service here. Is Lars going to play it? I don't think so. He's an Ana main, but we'll see. I mean, it's a fairly similar skill set, I guess you could argue. He's firing as if he's Ana. Maybe we're going to switch to the Ana, in fact. I'd say a high chance. We might just see solo DPS.
There we go. And Breck back to the Reinhardt. Yeah, that makes sense. Hovering over the Winston, didn't think we would see it come through. It definitely wouldn't be as effective as a Reinhardt. Breck's been really on point with these Earth Shatters so far. But AOD sticking with their composition. They still have Urster over on that Roadhog. It's going to be on him to come up with these massive picks, onto somebody like Breck, get rid of that tanky front line, or eliminate one of these healers, and it just opens up so much room for Mighty to win these fights.
Definitely does. Breck gets the pick here onto Trinity already. That's a very important first one. Airster misses the hook as well, so that's on cooldown here. And Biowin gets the high ground here. The mech is pulled away, so he has free reign up here. He's going to go ahead and take Kareem out. And this is a great start for Infinity.
It's looking really good. The point already starting to get capped.
They're totally zoned off.
Yeah,
Nobody
Mighty,
can get in here.
They have to try to contest this as best as they can. So far, still not making it to that first checkpoint. Urster jumping down. He's going to go low. Helix Rockets will hurt him a little bit more. That's going to be the nano boost coming through. They don't have that tack visor yet for Biowin. And now with a very high charge, Zarya chasing into him, as well as the D.Va. He might just go down. He goes low, a couple more shots. Might just finish him off, but he's able to actually back off in time, waving as he exits.
Yeah, or he's saying bye. I'll see you next time on my next push. Arachne getting those 2 kills slows down the push, but they build that tack visor now. Why Not also has a self-destructive flash, can empower the Earth Shatter that's almost ready here. The biggest thing they have to get through is going to be this Graviton Surge, which Thorncut is setting up for right now. He's going to buy them the first push. He's going to just run right in, get several in there. Arachne does get the huge Earth Shatter as well.
Absolutely massive with the Flame Strikes, hitting multiple members.
And it's a 6-man, a team kill.
That was perfectly executed by Mighty AOD. Thorncut fearlessly running in, knows that he has to follow up from the rest of his squad, and they just sweep through MVP. And suddenly, things are looking a little bit grim. Minute and 15 seconds on the clock. 3 ultimates still available, but they have to go through the 2 that are there for Mighty AOD. That's the self-destruct and the sound barrier from Pika.
Right, here comes the self-destruct to try to set things up. Breck going to drop down the Earth Shatter as well. They don't get any picks though. Biowin gets hooked, and this is great for AOD. Now up 1. Arachne does go down. Can they turn this around? MVP already pushed away from the point. One Fact gets hooked in as well. He's going to pop whole hog, try to push everybody off. He survives for a while, gets the kill on Airster.
They're looking decent for MVP, but they still haven't been able to get any time capping this point. Reinhardt's shield is there to block this time. Pika finishes off Laris. They do get Thorn Cut. This is opening things up, but they still have to make at least a checkpoint here. But they want to go the whole way. Hook's not going to connect on to Kareem, but he falls in the end. First checkpoint almost there.
Flash
Will almost be able to get it, but yeah, Flash gets hooked by Erster. He's going to go down.
And that was right when he got Sound Barrier as well, so a huge heroic, or excuse me, ultimate they don't have here right away.
Oh, good pin though by Breck.
Trinity here gonna get picked off. So many down for Mighty now. Infinity nearly gets the cap, and they will grab it. That's it. MVP takes the second map.
Really hard fought. Hollywood, extremely even between both of these squads, whereas that Ilios was pretty stompy by MVP Infinity. But Mighty finally giving them the run for their money here on Hollywood, but MVP still able to come out with a win, and now it's match point. Just need one more map victory to move on to that winner's match tomorrow.
That's going to be our 2-cap map going forward. And AOD looking really good, you know, overall, especially Karib, if he's given the space to find damage. That's kind of how this tank meta works. You look to the DPS player. Can your tanks move their tanks out of position so that you can get the picks? Can you get on high ground as Soldier? Can you get behind as Tracer? And when he was given that space to work with, he looked good. I'd say he's probably the key player for the team, but everyone else was struggling to give him that space most of the time. And one fact, definitely the better Roadhog overall.
Yeah, by the look of it, but a much better performance from Arachne as well, and on Hollywood, Thorncut really setting him up with that Graviton Surge to get that massive Earth Shatter into a triple kill. So the synergy from Mighty finally coming online. It's a little bit later than they needed it to be, but they need to find a map win. They need to win 3 straight if they want to move on to the winner's match. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves in losers, and that is not where you want to be.
You can feel the momentum right now. You can see it on the faces of MVP Infinity. But guys, we are going to go to a short commercial break before we come back to our third and potentially final map. See you then.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Day 2 of Apex Challengers Promotion Tournament. MVP Infinity currently poised to go ahead and take this set away from Mighty AOD in a 3-0, very close fought second map of Hollywood Ilios. Bit stompy in favor of MVP. But now we're going to be moving on to our third, potentially final map, and it's do or die time if you are the Angels of Death.
That's right, and it's going to be Volskaya Industries, chosen by those Angels. They don't want to play on Hanamura. A lot of people might say I don't blame them, but this is going to be another map that they couldn't foresee going to extra rounds. It's just so difficult to capture that second point. Both of these teams seem very weak on initial defense with a long, rather with even a short run back for the attackers, long run back for the defenders is what I'm trying to say. So we've definitely seen weak defenses already on our hybrid map. So I expect both teams to get the early capture here on Volskaya. The question is with what comps, and can they carry that momentum forward into that second capture point? I think right now, Mighty AOD is certainly hoping not. On the side of Infinity, it has so much momentum right now after that last win.
Yeah, I think honestly this might be the time for Mighty to just go all out on that dive composition, bring in the Winston from Arachne. So far they've kind of had this really disjointed dive composition, but when they're on attack, MVP, they will be defending on that high ground up on the right-hand side of the point, and if they can just disrupt with a Genji, with a Tracer, then they might be able to find some success. Let's see what they do. We'll go ahead and dive straight into our third and potentially final map. It's Volskaya Industries.
I get it.
All right, we got it. Maybe for the last time today.
Don't worry, we'll get it tomorrow too. Pretty sure.
You can still hear MVP out there in the audience. I believe Space is sitting in the audience watching their comrades.
Yes, saw that camera shot earlier. Thorn cut on the Symmetra, and it seems to be very real. So we're going to see our first Symmetra opposition of the day. Turrets being planted here around this archway to try to buy time on this first point. It's probably not going to be a long-term Symmetra, but he's going to try to buy enough to likely get that shield generator we saw yesterday. Of course, both ults really viable here. One to decrease the run back time, the other giving shields to the whole team.
Yeah, I think with a run back like Volskaya, it makes it really tough to kind of decide whether or not you want that shield generator or if you want the teleporter, because there's just the one spawn. You don't get a push up. You have to come in straight from where you started. See, Erster though is running on that Meg, going to be looking to isolate some targets as they get ready to push in.
Yeah.
Might be able to find Breck.
Taking the Nanohana approach, not going to be doing what we saw really yesterday from Haksal. And here's the isolation attempt here on Breck, and a wasted ice block as well. This is not going to be what Erster wanted. That's a 8-second longer cooldown now he's got on that one. Breck's shield still fairly healthy. He comes in here, Ice Wall going to try to isolate. Breck gets the kill on Arachna already. And it's 2 down for Mighty. This is a problem when you run Symmetra. She dies early like this, you don't get the generation of ult charge that you really need, and this could be a fast cap for Infinity.
Yeah, Thorn Cut only making it to 50%. He's going to go ahead, trade off, goes on to the Tracer to try to sprint back, but honestly, Mighty AOD, I don't think they can even really try to defend this one. Will be Erster going in with the ice block, trying to buy some time, maybe for Karif to go ahead, pick up that tack visor, but he still has a ways to go.
Yeah, Kariev can't even shoot past that Ice Barrier, some anti-synergy there. There's the hook onto Trinity. One Fact gets another one. Urster has this Blizzard, and he is just going to toss it right down into the middle. They will hold for the time being. Kariev gets picked off here, though, by Why Not. That's 4v4 here on the point. Looks like Flash gets the boop onto Airster. And Flash starting to be a pretty flashy, no pun intended, Lucio player in this tournament already. And will it be just cap? It looks like they're going to go for the double cap as well, running towards the second point.
They turned that back around. It looked like Fywin was the only one left, but then Flash comes out of nowhere, gets the boop, takes him out, and helps get the cap on the first push. 6 minutes on the clock, an adequate amount of time for MVP to go and try to cap this second point, but as you said, this is going to be a very difficult one. They do have 2 ultimates available with that sound barrier and the self-destruct. We can see the former going to be coming out already. Fywin with attack visor to be firing away from the high ground, but with a counter sound barrier, he's not getting a whole lot done. Reeve gets his own boost there from his allied Anna, and he'll be able to take out Breck.
Yeah, Thorncut doing what he could to block Fywin's tack visor there as well. It's an unsuccessful push. A lot of ults used there, and Airster did not have to use Blizzard. In fact, he didn't have it yet, which was a scary moment because when you have Mei in your comp, when there's this strong multi-ult composition coming towards you, you want to have that Blizzard to slow it down, or you want to have a defensive self-destruct. They had neither, but they still held it. And now they're about to have both the self-destruct and the Blizzard for follow-up pushes. They can hold on to those for a while as Pika charges up his ult, because right now there's no strong push for Infinity. One Fact actually temporarily switching to Reaper, then switching right back to the Roadhog, so a little bit of an indecision as to which hero he wants to play pushing into this one.
Yeah, and Urster having this Blizzard is going to be very crucial because there's a lot of combo potential with Arachne's Earth Shatter. If they can line those up together, chain them together. You don't want to stack them, otherwise you're wasting CC time. But if they can chain them, perhaps use it in conjunction with Thorncut's self-destruct that he just picked up, and this could be a very strong hold from Mighty AOD. Infinity, right now the onus is on them to try to get Mighty to use these ultimates to bait them out.
Okay, Why Not coming up here onto the high ground? He does have that self-destruct. Looks like he wants to try to take out Thorncut before he uses it. He will. We see the nano boost used on Reinhardt. Meanwhile, on the low ground, Breck kind of knocked around here and frozen. Not really getting that much value here. One Fact goes down. Fywin's going to get the kill here. Breck finally gets taken out here. Didn't have the Earth Shatter there. This is going to be, it looks to be another hold for Mighty AOD.
Yeah, really nicely done. Didn't have to use a whole lot there. And they're still going to have 2 ultimates available, Sound Barrier and the Nano Boost. Arachne poking out with the Flame Strike should be able to build up his own ultimate rather quickly, and MVP, they're a ways away from everyone other than Fywin's.
Kariev actually going to be playing the Zarya now. I think it's the first time we've seen that from him in this best of 5. One Fact also finally finding his Zarya himself, not finding value with the Roadhog or the Reaper. Coming in here now, Thorncut coming into the back lines, does not have self-destruct, just really wants to get onto the DPS here. One Fact can't really protect Fywin there, so that 1v1 not going to go into his favor, but they're just going to try to push it through on the ground. Fywin actually does survive, in fact, as well. Thorncut leaving. Why Not now does have his self-destruct, goes back on the high ground. They try to drop it down here. Attack visor wasted as Thorncut again goes right on top of him and knocks him out of the fight.
Yeah, really nicely done by Thorncut, disrupting and just constantly using that right click to block so many projectiles coming up from MVP Infinity, denying them poke, denying them meter build. And you can see Fywin, after getting poked out, losing that attack visor, he's going to try to change it up a little bit, moving over to that Genji.
So swapping here again. It's going to be the only DPS, and yes, I mean, it can be melee sometimes, but he feels melee half the time, really, especially when it comes to getting those picks with his charges. And it's a little bit tougher to deal with a D.Va. D.Va can't just totally make him useless, as we've seen Thorncut do every single time. But still, it's an interesting choice to have these solo Genji. I almost feel like a solo Tracer would behoove them here. It's just so hard to use Tracer without her ability to go up onto the high ground. Here comes the first big Graviton Surge coming into this fight. Self-destruct. Thorncut with 4 kills.
That was so well done by Mighty AOD. They throw up the Mei wall, immediately drop that Graviton Surge on top of it, get rid of it, throw in that self-destruct. 4 kills coming in so swiftly. That was so well executed. Where was this Mighty in the first map?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering right now. Fywin as well plays with fire, gets picked off there by Kariev. And now they do have a large set of ults. One Fact is about to have his Graviton Surge. Byron is not going to have Dragon Blade with it, but they might just have to let him go in simply without it because he's just so far behind, especially because he got picked earlier. Couldn't build this any further. One Fact very close. Looks like he's going to commit to going down onto the low ground and trying to grab it. They actually have secured this high ground, in fact. Coming in, he's so close here. Thorncut trying to block him out. Okay, he's got it now. Will he commit? Or they're going to wait for a better time. It's
needs
tough.
to line something up. They don't want to just burn this in a 1v1.
Yeah, he's going to have to retreat. They're not going to make this work. He just kills himself here as we're going to come back for a bigger push. Flywin again switches this time to the Reaper. Because he keeps switching, he's not really getting anything done in this game. He's never going to have his ult, which is why Infinity only has 5, and he's constantly sub 50. And this is giving Mighty AOD time to build their own ults for one last defense. The most key here being the Blizzard. And if they can buy more time during that Blizzard fight, Kariv might be able to get another Graviton Surge. This is looking really tough for Infinity. Despite the fact that they have 5 ults, they don't have a big damage ult. They only have CC. And Bywin is really going to have to carry this fight if they're going to take this second point. We're going to see it happen in just a moment here. Here's the Blizzard from behind.
From behind, flanking in. Erster going to go ahead, immediately lock up the Diva, but he makes it into the Blizzard. And he's just going to keep getting stopped up constantly. Now over on to One Fact. Should be able to take him out. There it is, the Flame Strike from Arachne is able to come up with a kill. He charges in, finds Breck, 3 picked up in favor of Mighty AOD. And this is looking pretty grim for MVP. 15 seconds left on the clock. Bywin getting locked up is able to find the kill onto Erster, but nowhere near a Death Blossom. And too many people on Mighty AOD left alive. They have to get in here ASAP if they want to try to contest this point.
Okay, looks like Lars is going to try to sneak around the back here on this Sombra. She's going to try to get the pick here onto Ana. This is so desperate right now as they try to run back. Gets onto the point, but will get taken out here, and that's overtime ticking down, and that's going to be it. MVP concedes it. And a strong hold for Mighty AOD on that second point. Big props to Thorncut. He was on Bywin every single time. The synergy there with the Graviton Surge, with the Ice Wall, getting that amazing self-destruct. This was his round. He killed it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, MVP, to get that really strong rush for the first point. 6 minutes on the clock, can't even get a single checkpoint on that second. AOD with a really strong defense, and you can see the synergy starting to really shine. That May combo with the Graviton Surge was absolutely beautiful by them, and if we could see more of that from them moving forward, we very well could end up going to 5 maps.
Absolutely. Looks like Mighty really well versed on their second point defense here. This is their map choice as well, don't forget. And we'll see what they decide to run with on the attack. Kariv has been playing a ton of Widowmaker, you know, just from the data I've been given. He is running it already here on the attack. He's shown it, maybe to his fans that know him for that Widowmaker play. And with, you know, I was going to say the other thing we have data on him is, we're not going to see, I didn't think, was the Hanzo. With the Torbjorn now, I'm starting to really doubt it. Yeah, they're messing around. But,
yeah, he's just going to be flipping through a couple options.
On Infinity's side, they are showing us that solo attack visor damage dealer here with Bywin on the Soldier, which has been the most standard comp for this entire promotion tournament. Is just the 3 tanks, the Soldier, the double support almost every time with Ana Lucio. So cookie cutter, that is, take a picture of that. That's the meta. Welcome to December 2016, as we do see Trinity swapping off one last time. Kariv's still on the Widowmaker.
Yeah, might be sticking. They could go for this double sniper as Trinity moves over to that Ana. So here they go. Ursa coming back in on the Genji. And again, it's like the pseudo dive comp coming through. They have the long range heals from the Ana, but it's just going to be the Winston and the Genji getting into the back line.
This is a stealth Widow where he's going to go around the left side, try to get behind the lines and pick off DPS characters at the edge. So he's looking for Bywin here. The shield is blocking him though. He's unable to find anything, and immediately Why Not spots him far away. The sleep dart going to buy time, but Kariv will probably be a dead Widow here, just trying to use this door. He escapes for the time being, but if he's not getting kills, he's totally useless, whether he lives or he dies.
Exactly. It's not even about going and hunting down the Widowmaker to take him out. As long as he is not firing at your team, you've done your job. So really good on Why Not to immediately zip over to Kariv, and try to zone him out. You see, he's still getting a couple shots in, but he doesn't have a good angle anymore, so he's going to have to go ahead and peel back. Looks like we might just have the swap coming through as he gets the ultimate.
Yeah, drops the ult, probably just going to drop off the side and swap out here in just a moment. Yeah, I'm going to switch to the Zarya. In fact, Airster is going to have Dragon Blade here in just a second, but there's nothing to pair with it except a Zarya shield. So a bit desperate to try to make that work as they do push around. Infinity controls the high ground right now.
They control the high ground, but they just need to try to get back in here and continue taking this point. Or continue defending this one.
Goes in, trying to remove that DPS here, trying to take out Bywin. He gets away though. Thorncut actually might lose his mech with this trade. It looks like he just barely will. That's going to be a dead D.Va. He jumps off the side. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, Flash getting the credit. Now it's down to 2 minutes here for Mighty AOD to get onto this point. If they can't do so, Infinity will walk away with this win. Really just need to hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good patience there by Fywin. You know, having faith in his teammates, we're going to come up and assist him there. And that pick alone was really what secured them this hold. Fywin is just trying to continue to be up on the high ground with his teammates. They only go down and commit when they can move the tanks away for Fywin. One back going to get the hook here onto Thorncut right away. And Dragon Blade is used, but what will Erster find here? The answer is nothing. He's nano boosted as well. 2 ults used.
Yeah, he has to retreat. He's not going to pick up anything. We can see there's going to be the self-destructs coming through, not finding kills on either side from those. One back is able to get the hook in onto Thorncut, takes him out. Fywin finally getting rid of that Genji. And the Reinhardt's will exchange, and Kareev on this Zarya hasn't been able to do anything. The meter building up so slowly, only at 58% after 2 pushes.
Well, using both of those ults is so bad for Mighty AOD right now. They've got 1:12 to work with only the Earth Shatter. Erster just switching now to this Soldier. He's not going to have Tac Visor either. They're going to need a miracle. They can't control this high ground. Infinity completely in control of this game throughout this entire first point.
Yeah, they're going to try to wrap around the back. Actually, Erster coming in, finding Bywin, gets a nice healing rocket shot onto him. That's going to keep Bywin away from the fight, but a big Earth Shatter comes through, locking down 3. Trinity already following, and Pika will go down. Both of the healers from Mighty AOD completely melted off the face of the Earth. The hook not going to connect, and Kareev, he won't fall off the map, but he'll get a nice shotgun blast to the face as he falls. And with 32 seconds left, this is MVP's game to lose.
This is just really unfortunate. The Earth Shatter was the ult they had, and it was a good one, but there wasn't any follow-up to synergize with that. Erster was trying to get the pick-off onto Fywin himself solo, but he wasn't in position to do damage. Now he does have this high ground, but the rest of his team needs to get in here. They've got 1 slice already, looking for that second one, and MVP Infinity is going to look to collapse in here. One fact almost has enough. With that heal, he's going to have the whole hog, and he's going to use this to zone.
Yeah, coming down from below, pops the whole hog. Shield coming up from Arachne, but he's just trying to push him off the map. Might just have to kill him instead. With the help of Breck, they take him out. Attack Visor's here's from Erster, but he gets hooked in. One back, taking him out just like that. That's going to be a big nano boost coming through, but immediately the Earth Shatter locking up Thorncut. He throws out the self-destruct, won't find it, and with the clock ticking down, there it is, MVP. They will complete the 3-0. They're going to move on to the winner's match for Group B tomorrow.
Great synergy there on the high ground by this team on that defensive point. Not even able to take the first one was AOD. Some desperation there at the end using the Earth Shatter. No follow-up ults, and then when it came down to that really nice whole hog, there was a synergy there. He called to his team, give me 1 second, I'm going to heal up, I got the whole hog, I'm going to push Reinhardt out. They're not going to have the shields. Bywin's going to do so much damage. At the end of the day, the only one who's left is Thorncut again, and he self-destructs, but it's in vain. The rest of his team is already dead. And Infinity, the dominant performance, looking much better than MVP Space.
That they did. Infinity definitely going to be the superior of the 2 teams. Would love to see how their scrims go, because I feel like Infinity probably crushes them every time if I had to take a stab at it. But you can see the guys in the booth wildly excited after that 3-0 win. They wanted to come out in strong fashion, and they did just that, knocking Mighty into the losers match.
Really gonna say, Flash, I feel his energy, and according to our, the papers and the seating arrangement, he's not technically the shot caller, but I believe when I see him in the booth, He's just a Lucio player. He's got several boops. He's given some, just basic support, as Lucio is one of the easiest heroes to play in the game, absolutely. But when you see the smile on his face, I feel like it really conveys the energy of the team. Everyone is really on the same page. It's the best synergy we've seen in a six-man in promotions, in my opinion, and I feel like he's maybe perhaps like motivation-wise and morale-wise such a great asset to the team. Maybe he does a heal boost in-game, but out of the game, it's the morale boost when he presses his E. And just excited to see. Here's some of our highlights, of course.
I mean, that was a gorgeous play coming through from Mighty AOD. Another one straight in, main wall, into that Graviton Surge with the 4K off that self-destruct. I mean, Mighty, they're definitely not, I don't think they're going to be out of this tournament. They still have that losers match that they can go play in and try to win their way back into Apex rather. So I don't think that they're going to lose out. I think that they have a very strong chance moving forward to still secure a spot. But right now, MVP Infinity, they look like they're shoo-ins to make it into Apex.
I would have to agree with that statement wholeheartedly. They look really strong right now. Definitely the strongest team in this group. And yes, when you look at Space, they did play against Red, which I think is a stronger team than Mighty AOD, but at the same time, no matter who you're up against, you can feel the synergy that we're seeing with these ultimates, the call-outs, the shot calling, as well as just information conveying. The communication within the six-man is really solid, and I'm excited to see what they do in that winners match. Going into this group, I thought, okay, this group feels fairly weak, but after watching Infinity, I'm sold on this team for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I would love to see if we had, cross bracket play, cross group play coming in. Maybe Infinity versus Afrika Red. I think that would also be a really fun matchup to see. Might have to wait until Apex Season 2 starts if both of the squads can make it in, because they're close, but they're still far away. Both of them having to win best of fives, and those will be coming up tomorrow when we have our winners matches. So tomorrow is sure to be a really hype game. That's when the real stuff goes on the line. It's your win away or your loss into losers. So just a recap on the day, a 3-1 victory for Afrika Freaks Red over MVP Space, whose sister team Infinity had a considerably better time, 3-0 over Mighty AOD. But it wasn't exactly a stomp. Hollywood came down to the wire. Volskaya on the second point. There was a couple moments where it looked like AOD might have been able to retake that point and keep the ball rolling, but overall, Infinity held on quite well. Mighty, one of the things they're going to have to focus on as they get ready to go into their losers match in 2 days, definitely going to have to be King of the Hill maps.
I would say King of the Hill, definitely their weak point. Also, I feel like they are trying to reinvent the meta with some of these comps. They're going very all in, using some odd picks and not getting the value out of them. For example, Karif playing Widowmaker there on Volskaya didn't work out. The Pharah composition where they had solo tank Diva on Hollywood on that attack didn't work out initially as well, wasting all their time pool in extra rounds. These are the kind of moves where if it works out, you look like a genius. You look like maybe the meta shouldn't be the way it is, but when you watch it fail, you start to wonder, like, are you guys just not as good as the other teams at this current meta? Are you trying to use something else because you're so desperate? I think tightening up playing what's standard is something to look forward to. So let's look at our winners matches. Tomorrow it's going to be Runaway versus Afrika Freaks Red and the Meta versus MVP Infinity. Two great matches, and both winners will advance directly into Apex.
They will. Meta looking a little shaky here and there. MVP might actually have the upper hand in that match, despite the fact that Meta ended Season 2 of Challengers as rank 1 and Infinity was number 4. But with this performance today, I think they look reinvigorated, more motivated. With Flash on your team, you can't help but feel confident. The guy is just so cheery, and he really brings the morale out for those squads. Runaway might have a bit of a hard time going up against Afrika Freaks Red. They already gated LW Red into the losers match. Now we're going to be looking to take down the other team with Red in their title, and we'll see if they're able to do that as we come back tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Who do you favor, actually, in Runaway and Afrika Red? Because I actually favor Runaway, to be honest with you. I think they're the better team.
It's so hard to say. It really is, because I think that this one is going to be a match that really comes down to the DPS, and we saw a tune absolutely go off on not just the Tracer, but a couple different heroes. We saw the McCree come out from him. We've seen the Soldier, so we know that he is a versatile hero pool. So I think that it's really going to be all about him versus Haksal, and we've seen Haksal have wonderful performances. We've seen him have some not-so-stellar ones. So I'm going to favor Afrika Red. I'll bite the bullet and play devil's advocate on that. That's going to close out the day for us, though, here at the Apex Challenger Promotion Tournament. Wolf and I will be back for those winners matches tomorrow, so don't go anywhere. Set your alarm, stay up all night, do whatever you need to do. Just make sure that you're here and you're watching because it's going to be one hell of a game. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.